All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to explore a really powerful way to look at our own minds, a way to find a much deeper sense of inner peace. It's a journey, but it's one that starts by looking inward.
You know that feeling, right? That constant chatter, the worries, the to-do lists. It's like your brain has its own agenda. But what if I told you the problem isn't the train itself? What if the real problem is that we're frantically running up and down the aisles inside it?
And here's the first big, and I mean big idea. Most of our suffering, our anxiety, our frustration, it doesn't actually come from what's happening out there. It's generated from something happening right inside our own heads.
This internal chaos actually has a name. It's called samsara. And let's be clear, this isn't about the physical journeys we all have to take. You know, commuting to work, running errands, seeing family. No, this is about the chaotic, aimless, and exhausting journey our mind takes, reacting and spinning out over every little thing.
This distinction is so simple, but wow, it is profound. We have to travel in the outside world. That's just life. But that internal wandering, that frantic, endless loop inside our heads, that's the part that causes the pain. And that's the part we actually have the power to change.
So to really get a handle on this, let's dig into a fantastic metaphor that makes it all click. Let's talk about the train of existence.
Okay, so on this train, you can basically operate in two modes. First, there's the ego, what you could call doership. That's the part of us that's buzzing with anxiety, feeling like we have to push and pull and control and make everything happen. And then there's grace, existence itself. That's the powerful, unseen force that's actually moving the whole train forward. It's the engine.
Just let that sink in for a second. We are already on a moving train. It's already headed to its destination. But we're inside, running up and down the aisles, sweating, panicking, thinking our tiny bit of effort is what's propelling the whole thing forward. It's not. It's just making us tired. Recognizing this, that the train is already moving by grace, is the key to shattering that illusion of control.
Now, I know this might sound a bit abstract, a bit philosophical, but the shift from frantic running to just calmly sitting down has huge real-world effects. Let's look at some real stories from people who've put this into practice.
So take Dennis here. Picture this. His partner wakes him up in the middle of the night. His instant reaction? Irritation. We've all been there. But then he has this aha moment. He realizes, wait, I'm not irritated because she woke me up. I'm irritated because my expectation that I should get to sleep was violated. The second he saw that, the irritation just, poof, it vanished. He stopped running on the train.
Or look at Stephen. He applies this to something we can all relate to, the stress of time. He realized he was always running after time, creating this huge ball of anxiety. So he made a conscious choice. He said, you know what, I'm just going to sit on this train and take it easy. The result? His conversations, his entire way of being with other people, started coming from a place of peace, not pressure.
And this example from Kavita is just brilliant. She used to get incredibly irritated by snoring. Instead of fighting it, which is just more running on the train, she used a simple chant. And now, snoring is just a sound. It doesn't bother her. She found a way to be at peace, no matter what external noise was happening.
Okay, so this all sounds amazing, right? But how do we actually learn to stop running and start sitting? Well, there's a practical, four-stage path that can guide us on this journey inward.
And it all builds on itself, really naturally. It starts with your body, just grounding yourself, feeling your physical presence. From there, you anchor your wandering mind, usually just by focusing on your breath. Then, you can refine that focus, maybe with a chant or a mantra. And then comes the final and most crucial step. You just stop. You wait, you receive. You surrender to that grace that was already carrying.
And this is so important to understand. This practice is not about more effort. It is not about forcing your mind to be quiet or wrestling it into submission. It's actually the opposite. It's about creating the right conditions, a little calm, a little focus, a little awareness, so you can finally notice the grace that was there all along.
When we consistently practice this, when we make this a habit, it does more than just make us feel a little less irritated. It leads to a fundamental shift in our entire perspective on life.
What happens is you start to move from this tiny, narrow, me-centric view where everything is about my problems, my desires, my timeline, to a vast, interconnected, all-centric awareness. You start to realize you're not just a single frantic passenger. You're part of a much larger, graceful journey.
So I'll just leave you with this one thought to reflect on. In your own life, with your job, your relationships, all your stresses, what would actually change if you just stopped running, took a breath,
and trusted the train to carry you.